older people, senior citizens. They have so much wisdom and knowledge to share with us. And their experiences are unlike anything that we'll ever experience, just like the things that we've experienced will be unlike anything our grandchildren will experience. But one Sunday I was at church and watching my uncle play the piano, my uncle who's 87 years old, been playing in the church now over 70 years, I believe. And another gentleman who was playing and singing as well. And I thought, man, they're in their 80s. Look at them up there. And I started looking around the church and realized, oh, there's several people in here in their 80s. I wonder what they do all day. I wonder if they read throughout the day. I wonder who taught them how to read. What was their experience like in going to the library in the segregated South? Was it even such a thing for them? And so I asked, and here is the result of my nosiness. Hi, Miss Sarah.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Miss Annette.
Hello.
Okay, everybody, this is Mr. Joe. Hi, Minister Owens.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. Uncle Jasper. So I just wanted to ask you, because I'm very curious about people who are in their 80s and what their experience was when they were young with reading and books. So, do you remember who taught you how to read?
You know, I'm not really sure, but I think it was my mother that first kind of introduced us to reading. It was my Aunt Lola Shamley. She was my teacher.
Yeah, mostly Miss Hattie Haygood, my Roman school teacher.
Who taught you how to read?
Our cousin Gussie.
We didn't have a whole lot of books there. It was a very small school, and we didn't have excessive amount of books. We could take our books home with us, but we had to be sure and bring them back.
Right, because everybody had to share.
I read now quite a bit. It's comfort to me.
Do you remember growing up if you had any books in the house?
Any books in the house?
Yeah, did y'all have any books in the house when you were growing up?
Well, I think Daddy has some Bibles.
So you don't remember really having books in the house, Bibles mainly. Do you like to read now? Do you read anything now?
Yeah, occasionally.
What do you like to read?
Well, a lot of them about the life of some people.
Okay, like biographies. Do you ever read novels or do you like to read newspapers?
I go through newspapers sometimes. And I said a lot of times I said, you know what? Ain't nothing in here worth reading today.
Do you have a favorite author?
No.
No, you just like to read a little bit of everything.
I just read a little bit of everything.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So you've always been a reader. Do you remember back in the day, I know that, you know, the libraries, if there was a black library back in the day, they probably didn't have a lot of books, but do you remember going to the library when you were young?
Never.
Never. Okay, what about after Jim Crow ended and desegregation, when they opened it up to everybody? Did you ever go to the library then?
Very seldom. I've never been a person that went to the library a lot.
Okay, so you.
I guess it was because I wasn't brought up going to the library.
Do you like to read today?
Some things I do, and some I don't, because I don't see that well. I don't try to read as much.
Okay, so do you read books or magazines or newspapers?
Most time newspaper.
Okay. Besides your aunt, who else was a big influence in your life on reading?
Well, the only other person that made me interested in reading, well, I guess, was my grandmother.
Okay.
Because my grandmother didn't read that much. When I got big enough to read good, every night I started at the beginning of the Bible, and I read the Bible every night to her until I
read it all the way through.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So we shared that together.
When you were able to go to a library, when they finally had a desegregated library, do you remember ever or going to the library once they desegregated? And if you remember that, what did that feel like?
Karen, let me tell you this. See, I was born in Georgia in a small town, and if there was libraries down there, I didn't know anything about it. Then later on, after we moved to South Carolina. Then I still didn't go to the library, but we did have more books at the school that we went to after we came here.
Okay.
And I honestly don't remember my first experience at the library. And believe it or not, I went back to get my GED, and this was after the plant I was working at closed.
Okay.
And I got my GED in 2000. I was 63 years old.
That's great, though. You did it, though. That's what matters. You
I
did
like
it.
fun books.
Okay.
Something that's not too heavy, just light reading.
Okay. Do you read romance novels or?
I used to. I don't read them anymore. I passed that.
Okay.